going on, motherfuckers? This is Hanging Heavy with the motherfucking Desecrator and this guy. Who's this guy? Me llamo Luis Way.
Caller, which happened to call during my intro, is none other than the notorious Carhartt. Really, dude? You hung up on me for that? A la verga. Anyway, you hung up on me for that?
I didn't. It just kind of happened. Ever since I dropped the phone in the toilet, it's been kind of wacky.
Yeah, well, whatever. I'll just cut the song in, and then you'll just... Okay, anyway. Excuse the bumblefuck that just happened. Like I said, my boy Carhartt. Live via satellite. Say hello to...
Satélite número 512. Satélite de Austin, Texas, a la verga.
Okay, man. So, how you doing tonight, man?
Pretty good. Just been having we just been chilling at some stupid bullshit hipster bar, which is kind of nice. You know it's kind of nice when like you're hanging out at some fucking random place, and you all start talking about privilege.
What are you privileged for?
Well, I'm privileged due to the fact that I'm able to hang out at a nice place.
But you're not white.
And other poor people can't.
You're not white, though.
Yeah, I'm not white, but I'm poor.
So then you don't have privilege.
Pretty close. Yeah, but I have a sufficient enough privilege. That's what we were discussing. It's like, well, how much privilege do you have? And it's like, bitch, it doesn't matter how much privilege I have. The point is that when you're in the position that you're in, like, you have to be aware of the position that you're in to sit down and think about where you're at and come up with a plan to be able to improve yourself.
Ooh, self-help.
So that's the whole point of privilege. That's national privilege.
Is it?
Like the nation of the United States grants us the privilege to be able to sit down and say, okay, where am I failing? What am I doing? Where am I fucking up? Okay, this is what's happening. How can I improve it? That's what's beautiful about the United States.
The American dream is alive and well.
See what?
Well, you heard it here first. Carhartt has enabled himself with white privilege as a Hispanic man.
Yeah, I'm totally surrounded by it.
Well, I mean, you're a product of your environment, as they say.
Yeah, an environment of... Oh, wait.
Whoa.
Shit, I can't stand.
It's okay. I'll cut that out.
Okay.
What he meant to say was a bundle of sticks.
A bundle of sticks. What, like a black metal band?
What was that?
Like a black metal band?
I'm an evil motherfucker, Joe.
I'm an evil motherfucker, Joe. You ever kill somebody, Joe?
You ain't shoot shit.
You're looking for black metal. I'm black, and it's metal. What's wrong with that, Joe?
You ain't ever shoot shit. The only thing you ever shoot was a load in your hand. You ever shoot a motherfucker, Joe? If you haven't heard that
brilliant.
Fucking great prank call.
It fucking sounded like Joel, dude. It really did.
Yeah, it really did. Well, you curiously don't understand what the genre black metal means.
Yeah. Dude, you know who I found on, well, I know we shouldn't shot call, but I think you know who I'm talking about, so I'm not going to say the name directly. I was just in time on Facebook and I found this person, and I was like, "Oh, look at this fucking nerd."
That's the product of you, my friend.
Yeah, and he married a pretty lady.
Yeah, that's one of his high school friends. They grew up together.
Yeah, I was like, all right, dude. I'll give you props for that one.
Yeah.
Which is good on you for having married a pretty lady.
But he's bald.
But it still doesn't negate the fact that you suck.
Yeah, he's bald as fuck too.
Yeah, dude, he's following in the footsteps of Mr. Osborne.
Mr. Osborne had hair.
That's true. That's even sadder. It's like he's gonna work as a fucking high school teacher, and he's gonna pass out in the middle of the science room if you're gonna put fucking eggs in this microwave to cook, and they're gonna rot.
Yeah, kids are gonna put fucking eggs in your microwave while you're fucking sick, and they're gonna stay there over the weekend and fucking stink your whole room up.
But the sadder thing is that if he's gonna talk about how he's in the band to try to come off as cool to the kids, to the high school kids, and like, I'm in the band.
You damn young whippersnapper! I used to be in a metal band.
And it's like, dude, your metal band sucked. All your metal bands sucked. Shut the fuck up. Stop talking about it.
Oh, you goddamn whippersnapper don't understand a hard day's work in a metal band. Speaking of metal bands and those people, what was your favorite thing about being in Decayed Faith?
My favorite thing about it was playing the shows. I like playing the shows because it was one of those things where you kind of knew the songs by heart, so you just really played them. Like, it wasn't a thing where you got nervous.
I got nervous.
Before you got up on stage. And that really happened because you just knew the song so well and you never really deviated from it.
Well, we also always got fucked up before we played. I think that helps a lot. My first show with that band, I left my bass at the venue and some asshole stole it.
And that's true because you brought two basses and you left your bass and some dickhead stole it.
It's a good thing it was the cheap one, but still, that sucks losing equipment.
Well, that's what you get for being a dumbass.
Hey, well, at the time, a friend was fucking going to the hospital, so I had a little more on my mind.
A friend who's going to the hospital? Okay.
You don't remember? You're fucking the love of your life?
Ooh.
Your SJW.
She wasn't going to the hospital. What the fuck are you talking about?
She had like a fucking heart attack, dude. Are you stupid?
Oh, yeah, that's right. She had tachycardia.
No shit. So I packed my shit in a hurry and I forgot my bass on the pool table.
Yeah, that's very true. She had tachycardia, but it was fixed. It was fixed when you just removed a certain portion of the muscle, so it's okay. She's doing fine.
I don't care.
No need to feel sorry for this person.
I don't care now.
Audience. Audience. Don't worry about it. This person is alive and well.
Alive and well.
They are doing well with their life. Yeah. They are not a victim, so don't feel pity for them.
No, Luis, we're all a victim.
Whatever. The only people that are victim are little bitches that choose to be victims.
I find offense in what you just said. That's so misogynistic.
Do you live in Portland?
I live in my own safety bubble.
You live in Portland, so I could shit in your face right now?
You're into that scheisse?
Yeah, I need to introduce you to some hardcore German porn. Maybe that'll chill you out.
No, I'm good. I've seen my fair share.
Like people ask, it's like, well, what can I do to be a little more relaxed like you? You know, some people will say, well, maybe you need to smoke a little bit of weed. Maybe you need to do a little bit of cocaine. not tell them, maybe you need to watch a little bit of German porn.
What you need to do is you need to go and buy a glass coffee table, get underneath it, and let somebody stand on top and shit on it while you're underneath.
Yeah, and then for good measure, throw in a toothbrush and brush your teeth.
Oof. He's referring to a famous video that we saw as a child. As a children, as a group of collective kids curious about the deepest, darkest things on the internet in the 90s. Which was basically the fucking Wild Wild West.
It was the Wild Wild West because the FBI didn't have rules.
They had no idea what... Like that scene in Jay and Silent Bob, what the fuck is the internet?
Yeah.
Oh, man, the good old days.
It's actually kind of funny that they have... that's kind of brilliant that they did that with Jay and Silent Bob, because that's a purposely outdated joke that they did to show the age of Jay and Silent Bob.
Well, they were fucking stoners that spent their whole life outside a convenience store. They had no idea what the internet was.
Yeah, that's true. They didn't. Even if the internet already was existing for a good amount of time, they didn't know what the fuck.
Yeah, that joke was to show how fucking close-minded they were.
Yeah.
Great movie, though.
That was a great movie. That was one of the first movies that I saw when I was high. I saw it with Mark, and when Mark and Gary and I would get high in his backyard, and his mom would show up after work. She'd be like, "¿Han estado fumando?" I'm like, "No, nomás estamos aquí. We've just been chilling." Clearly, we've been smoking.
Fucking blazed out of your mind listening to chopped and screwed music on the couch.
Yeah, dude, our fucking eyes are red as shit.
Yes.
So I was like, "You've been smoking?" "No, we haven't been smoking." Then we fucking go to Mark's room and watch Jay and Silent Bob, and we laugh our asses off.
I actually still remember the first movie I ever saw. The first time I ever got stoned.
You saw Scary Movie 2, right?
Yeah, it was fucking Scary Movie 2. My sister showed it to me on DVD. She had a little party, and they were the older kids, and I got a little puff of the green.
Yeah.
Holy Jesus, I still remember that experience too. I remember I went outside in my backyard and fucking I laid down in the grass in the darkness. It was nighttime, obviously. And I closed my eyes. Dude, it was a fucking euphoric trip. I closed my eyes and I felt like I was laying in water, but the water was like neon.
Uh-huh.
And when my heart beat, ripples would go away and they would color shift. Dude, I'll never forget that. And then eventually I sank into the water and I felt like I was floating.
Yeah.
And then they got my ass up they were like, "Do you want to fucking laugh your ass off?" And I was like, yeah, fuck yeah, sure, right? What the fuck do I know? This is the first time I'm getting high. They bring me inside and they have it on DVD. And on the DVD, to enter the menu, in the movie, there's a set of knockers on the door, and the knockers are a big pair of balls to the main house in that movie. If you don't know what it's about, fucking watch it. It's a great movie. But the movie, you have to click on the knockers, and when you fucking click on it, the knockers knock, and the guy's like, "Oh!" I don't know why, dude. I had to do that fucking 10 times. Just going into the menu, going back, going into the menu, going back, going into the menu. I was so fucked up.
Yeah.
But I could not stop cracking up just from that. And fucking, the movie started playing and I couldn't, felt like my sides were ripping at the seams and shit. Couldn't breathe.
Yeah, you were totally cracking up.
Yeah. Those are the fucking good laughs. Those are the laughs that add life to your fucking existence. Those are the laughs that add years to your life.
Yeah, that's actually a good way to put it. Or the laughs that add years to your life.
The other thing that always stood out to me, when we would get high, I don't know if you remember, but you would do do you remember that?
Oh, I know. Yeah, of course. I know you never forgot about that shit.
Did
I was pretending to be the farmer, the molesting farmer. That was the point. It was inspired off of the farmer character from Waterboy, from Adam Sandler's Waterboy. But the difference is that I was more molesty. Like I was more molesty. Like I tried to throw you into the trap molestation. Yeah, it was a fun time.
I don't know why I do that shit. Always had me on the floor busting laughing.
Oh yeah, dude, you cracked the fuck up. You're like, what the fuck are you talking about? And then I did it, and like you fell on the floor crying.
Did
you started fucking laughing?
Pretty much every time you did it, I would fucking fall on the floor laughing.
That's true, because after I did it, I'm like, well, I got a gold mine here.
I gotta go with what works.
I got a gold mine. Yeah, so let's explore it.
Jesus, man. Fucking what it's like to be young and smoking the ganja.
Yeah, I think what ends up happening is during those times, since your brain is not as developed, you know, when you do something like this, when you smoke the ganja, it feels more cartoony. Because, like, seriously, like as you're younger people are generally raised on cartoons, right? So cartoons is shit that they look up to. This generation, they look up to video games. Like, they look up to Fortnite. Dude, I actually read an article online saying that, like, rich parents that have a shitload of money to spare, like, they have so much money.
I know where you're going with this. Hold on. This, I was going to actually talk about this. I saw this, probably a different article, but the same topic. I know where you're going. Let me finish that statement. People are getting tutors for their kids to get better at Fortnite.
That is correct.
That's fucking ridiculous.
Right. That's kind of weird. That's like this weird lame shit that white people do. Like, I bet you if somebody did a census of that, the white people that did that would be 95% or more.
Yeah,
because
I don't
his Mexicans, they would be like, no me está pendejo, y like, yo no le voy a pagar ese pinche joto para que le enseñe a mi hijo a jugar videojuegos para que sea virgen a la verga, todo puto. Like, obviously, they're not going to be okay with that.
Yeah,
and black people are going to be like, shit, motherfucker, you better fucking earn that money or you get kicked the fuck out. You know what I mean? It's like, fuck, like that's how you got to survive with the fact of being a minority.
Yeah, and Asians are just going to be fucking great at it regardless.
Yeah, they're going to be great. They're going to fight against Koreans that have nothing else, and yet they commit suicide at an early age because they have nothing else. That's what the fuck.
I don't know where that came from, but that's a good point to take a little break.
No, because it's true, dude. Like, there's so much pressure in Asian countries that's like, well, I'll just be good at video games. The video games don't do anything good for you. Like, you know what I mean?
Dude, what are you talking about? It's a profession now, man. People make legitimate money doing video games.
Like a professional assassin and shit. It's like lame because you don't actually do anything. You just play a game.
A video game, playing a video game is just as challenging. It's just as challenging as any sport.
Whatever, dude. It's all full of shit.
It takes tactics.
It's all a mental thing.
It takes skill. It takes muscle memory.
I'll tell you one thing right now. If you're competing like that, what makes you think you're not a performing monkey? As Shaun of the Dead brilliantly stated in their grand movie, I'm not a performing monkey. Don't make me fucking perform for that shit. Fuck you. The point is that I'm good enough to be able to do it, and you know that I am. And I don't feel like doing it, so fuck off. Like, that's the point of it.
Hey, dude,
like,
I bet you
know that I can't.
I bet you could make money doing it, dude. You should start a streaming channel with just the Dreamcast.
With Just the Dreamcast. That would actually be a good theme. Start a streaming channel. That would get a lot of cult status.
It would be like fucking retro gaming, but modern retro.
Yeah, modern retro gaming is like shit. This is full of shit.
Dude, imagine, dude, you used to fucking
behind videos.
You used to destroy it, Power Stone, dude.
That's true. I would. I would fuck people up in Power.
If any of you guys that are listening know what Power Stone is, fucking good on you. Power Stone
is actually a very fun game.
It was the tits. I was terrible at it, but I fucking love playing that game.
Dude, within one character, you had two characters. And the difference between one character, like character A and character B, was being able to reach rocks. And like you had a million things to block your path, and like you just kept going through a stage. It's fucking dope, dude.
Fucking out of all the people that I've known in my entire life, only 2 people have owned or known somebody that owns a Dreamcast.
Yeah.
That's how rare the Dreamcast was.
Dude, I don't know why. It's just that when I saw the Dreamcast, like when I saw it as a kid, I'm like, whoa, this looks like they're going to put a lot of good games for it. Like when I saw it, I'm like, I understand the general vibe of what they're trying to do, and I'm all about that.
And I'm all for it.
When I saw that, I'm like, yeah, they're going to actually try. No, it's not normal, dude. It's got this cult following thing where it's a cult of personality. Like when they're fucking creating games, like they're really into what they're doing. And that's the point, is that when you're really into what you're doing, you create something that's immortal. Like, it'll be forever remembered. That's how you built your name in history. Even if you're not, like, one of the main players, people that are interested in the general art of whatever it is that you focused on, you created the history of it. They're going to be like, oh, shit, he was a creator. Okay, like, let's see what's up with him. Or her, whatever. And then you can fucking do a biography of your legend. Yeah, we're just coming up with this bullshit. And then this happened, X, Y, Z. And they're like, oh, shit, really? Did it? Yeah, it did. Like, you don't even know, but it happened. You know why I know it's true?
You don't need to know.
Because I just said that it happened. Why would I lie to you? Why would I come up with some bullshit like that?
What incentive?
That's the question.
What incentive?
Why would I lie to you?
Exactly. All right, man. Well, I'm gonna take a quick break. I gotta refresh my drink, and we're gonna come right back into it. Rich and Rare. Moving on to whatever the fuck that just happened was. I got a question for you, man. As a musician, what is the process of like creating music like for you? Like what is your like process from beginning to end?
The process of creating music is being genuinely curious and actually picking up the instrument and trying to play around with the tools that you have available. And the tools that you have available can just be, if you have the budget, just the guitar and you, just your technique. If you have more budget to buy more tools in that concept, then you buy an amp, and you buy pedals, and then you try to start to develop the best version of yourself. And everybody does have a general atmosphere. Like, everybody wants to be a technical guitar player, but it's like, well, maybe you're not a technical guitar player to begin with. Like, you should try considering other types of creative guitar playing.
No,
it doesn't have to be shreddy.
I think guitarists now, all they want to do is be the greatest guitar player ever.
Everybody does. Like, everybody's pretty virtuistic. They're all pretty good, but you know what? Like, I don't like their music. Like, it all sounds so cliche to the point where it feels fake to me. It's like, okay, guys, like, I understand you're trying to make, like, I'm enlightened, philosophical fucking lyrics, but you know what? You're not. And you know why you're not? Because you have not actually lived through the experience to understand what it's like. How can you pretend that you know an experience of togetherness when you never experienced it yourself? That's a big fault. At least bands back then in the 90s, for example, like, they had angst, even if it was edgy, right? But that edgy angst meant something in the sense to where it wasn't understood quite yet. now it's understood. And now people are trying to be ironic about it being understood. It's like, yeah, look at me. And like, everybody thinks that they're deep, but they're actually fucking retarded. And then you just kind of crisscross, it's over.
Yeah.
Like, society-wise. It's a little interesting.
Yeah.
That works.
You show me a bunch of modern bands. I pretty much disconnected myself from music. Because most of the new music sucks. Like, it's all the same.
Yeah, new music is pretty gay. I agree.
For lack of a better word, yeah. It all sucks dick. I mean, there's a few fucking gems every now and then.
Yeah, every now and then an artist does have like a legit jam.
But like
pretty good.
When we were growing up, I feel bands that came up, they stood out more because ideas were still original. Like fucking now everyone is just like, oh, I know the technique. Like, oh, I'm a master shredder.
But it's like, you don't have to know the technique, dude. You have to know how to compose a fucking theme. You have to know how to make a theme. That's the point of a band. The band is a theme. That's what a band is. Like, they are a legend. And a legend is a theme. Like, you have to fucking know how to be one.
You know what I feel is missing in music and musicians now?
What?
Heart. Like the fucking
Heart.
The want, dude. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, probably. There's a lot of want that's away, but I think it's because everyone's trying to reach the same dream, and like that level of dream is hard, right?
Yeah.
And you know what? Maybe you're not ever going to reach it, but at that point, if you're not, you have to understand that you teach yourself through the experience that it's like, well, I realize what it's like, and it's fine. I'm still going to do my thing in it, and I'm still going to try to be a boss in it. But as Wu-Tang Financial says, you got to diversify your bonds, nigga. So you got to fucking have to be able to expand yourself above the market of one level. Like, you have to be multiple levels of it. Like, multiple levels of talent. Like, you have to be able to do that. That's how you get to know people. And multiple levels of talent, you have to understand. First of all, for all you fucking junkies listening to me right now, multiple levels of talent do not mean you can still take drugs and try to impress people. You have to actually be able to be on point with the profession of that you choose to take. Like, if you're going to choose this challenge, like, well, I want to try to be an expert in this field, you have to fucking know your knowledge.
Yeah,
like, you have to know whatever it is being asked of you to clarify and make the point.
Yeah,
that's just not easy shit.
That, like, for me, I grew up with the rock star dream. I mean, you did too. I was in the band with you.
Yeah.
I mean, at a certain point, I knew nothing was gonna come of it, so I gave up the rock star dream. Like, I like making music for myself because it's a good expression. It's a good outlet.
Yeah, that's fine. That's cool.
Like, I like writing every now and then. I haven't done it in a long time, and that makes me feel like shit. But, like, the one thing that, like, always stuck with me is, like, we started picking up instruments more or less around the same time. But you just had, like, a natural gift alongside the fucking just countless amount of hours you put in practicing. Because that you could be the most talented motherfucker, but if you never practice, you're going to be sloppy as fuck.
Yeah.
And,
no, I know what you're saying, and I appreciate that you're saying that. Like, whenever I would play guitar, like, I would just kind of, like, flow into something. And it's kind of interesting now, like, discovering baritone and, like, double drop A. That's what I have my baritone in. Ooh. I have it in double drop A sharp. Double drop A sharp.
I'm a gentleman.
No, that's not really gent. Because gent people either play in standard or they play in drop. They don't play in double drop. Double drop doesn't work for gent people because gent people want to be able to play, like, those super fucking, like, high, not even high pitch, but it's like more like major keyed keys, like musical keys.
I prefer to play a little bit of gent jazz fusion.
Gent,
with
jazz
with a little
fusion,
bit
like
of
a bitch.
yeah,
Like,
you were the one that
shut
jumped on
up,
the
bitch.
you jumped on the gent bandwagon real hard, dude.
Yeah.
And when you were like, "Oh yeah, gent, it's the fucking future," I was like, doubt it.
Dude, I thought it was. The thing is that I didn't think that it would oversaturate like that. Like to that level where you're like, whoa, these are a bunch of bands that sound the same,
Yeah,
like at that point.
you were like, "Yeah, dude, this is my favorite band. Their vocalist," and I was like, "Yeah, their vocalist sounds kind of like a bitch."
No, I never liked the vocalist. Like I'm like, okay, I'll pass the vocalist, but like I thought about the creativity of the musical music parts because it came off as new, right? Like when you first heard their ability to play it, but then the consecutive albums all literally sounded like the same album.
Like
they all sounded like they never changed albums.
Like
and then they said it's like, well, this time Periphery 3, this time it's personal. It's like, okay, well, let's fucking listen to it. And it really wasn't.
Yeah.
I will say that they had like maybe one banger. I would say the one banger that they had, and I will totally give them credit for this, is to have some legitimate musical legitimacy is Marigold. That's a good song.
So what happened to your god Misha?
Yeah, no, I think what happened with the god Misha is he became more of a businessman. Like at some point, he's like, well, I can't just come off as being a virtuosic guitar player. Like I have to go with companies to do something. So and I totally respect him for that. I respect his mission. You know, like his mission to be a businessman like that. It's like, okay, well, I'm going to be a businessman within the general field of what I like to do. I respect that.
His mission to make generic-ass music?
But the problem is the way he markets himself as being this, like, weird, like, friendly nerd.
I think he's pulling the same fucking character that the dude from Killswitch used to be.
Killswitch? What dude from Killswitch?
Their lead guitar player, like he was like the funny, fucking weird, crazy dude. And that was his shtick. Like he would wear costumes on stage and shit.
Yeah, that was what he was trying to do.
Yeah, so Misha's trying to be like the douchey, funny guy, and fuck that guy.
I would say fuck that guy. I'd be like, dude, stop being such fucking tryhard. Shut the fuck up.
That's a good descriptor. Fucking tryhard.
Stop being such a fucking tryhard, dude. Shut up.
Stop making garbage products and fucking just practice being a fucking douche in a band.
Yeah, dude, be a douche in a band. Stop like being sponsored by fucking by pedal companies.
No, he didn't. He's not sponsored by a pedal company. He makes his own pedals.
You don't need to make your name within the pedal company. Just fucking do it, because like the pedal will sell itself if it's legit good enough.
Yeah.
You don't have to add your name to it. Fuck you. Like you're diminishing the value of this individual pedal company that came up with the idea of the pedal, and they just fucking pasted your name on it.
Stupid signatures printed on it. It's worthless.
That's my point. Is that you ain't worth shit to that level, to where a pedal company could post their name.
Yeah.
It just so happened that this pedal company did post their name.
It's his company.
All it was is that you were just friendly with them.
It's his company. That's why.
Because the visions aligned properly.
It's because it's his company.
Ah, well, there you go.
That's
because it's his company.
He's making.
My company. I can make it work.
He's making garbage pedals with his name on it.
Company that he made it work, but it still doesn't negate the fact that his company's a company. Like it's a bitch company. I don't care how much money you make. You will never have the respect.
I don't think he's making that much money, dude.
Yeah, even if he's not making that much money, the point is that like he probably is making money. That's fine. That's cool.
I'm sure he's making money.
You're still a fucking nerd. Fuck you. You suck. Like you're all and shit with the way you handle your business.
Get a grip.
Even though you probably have more money than me, that's fine. I don't mind. But the point is even if you have more money, your attitude is still intolerable.
You don't have my integrity.
in your attitude is insufferable. That's what it is. Like, your attitude is just lame as shit. And you know why? Because you try to be fun and quirky in this weird way where it just kind of comes off as you doing this weird cosplay of sorts. You're like this weird meta cosplay.
He's a cosplayer of a guitar player?
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly what he is.
Is that what he goes to Comic-Con with? Or?
He's this weird hyper Indian cosplay nerd, dude. He's like a cosplay boss, like the final cosplay boss. That's what he is. That's what he would be. And like, everybody thinks it's cool, but it's like, if you really think about it, you're just this fucking guy who poses as this fucking character that nobody likes. And nobody likes this character.
Your only face value.
Yeah. Your only face value, and it's like, well, you really don't have any more substance above trying to be funny and charming. But problem is that you're not.
Yeah.
When I look at you, try to be like, you're not funny or charming. You just kind of come off as grating. You grate. like if I'm a piece of cheese and you're just fucking grating the cheese down, it's like, oh shit, it's wearing me out because it's so fucking shitty.
It's too much.
Like when you, yeah, when you see that happen.
All right, man. Well, I'm going to cut it right there real quick, and we'll be right back. So, today, I'm, I guess, drinking like a gentleman.
Yeah, keeping it classy.
I'm sipping on a little bit of a sweet California Red Moscato. Like a bitch. If you don't know...
Moscato. Who the fuck just fucking jams to Moscato, dude? That's so... Like, oh, you're fucking drinking like pink wine.
It's red, bitch. I just said it was red.
Brad Pitch. That's pretty good. Brad Bitch, dude. It's like a bitch version of Brad Pitt. Brad Bitch. You need to make that into a sketch. You totally could.
Okay, anyway, I don't drink wine because I hate it. It's a fucking bitch drink. No offense. But I was introduced to this one wine that I'm a little privy to. I like it. Doesn't hurt my stomach and it tastes good. I'm not going to give you the name because fuck you. It's my wine. But in order for me not to feel like such a big bitch, I take a shot of whiskey before to like toughen it up to make it, yeah, it is a man drink. And then I sip on wine afterwards.
Dude, I had a shot of whiskey today. Like, we went to this trendy...
Your hipster bar?
Yeah, it was a pretty trendy hipster bar, but it was nice. Like, it reminded me of, like, being in the Alamo. Like, it looked old. Like, it was, like, rock. Like, you know how the Alamo is formed, like, wall-wise?
Yeah.
Like, how the walls are made out of stone.
Out of stone. Out of an ancient material known as stone.
Yeah. And it was made out of that. So, like, when you were inside, you're like, okay, this feels like an antique building.
Ooh.
You know? Like, when you're there. But clearly it has central heating and all that.
Fancy.
Yeah. Dude, they actually had a bomb-ass drink called... it was their own version of a Moscow Mule.
Oh, here we
so
go.
it was the traditional elements of a Moscow Mule, which was vodka... what's the other one? Ginger soda, vodka, ginger soda, and that other third ingredient that I can't remember.
Isn't there mint?
But an additional thing that they did to give it a twist is they have like this weird foam that they add to it, and when they add the foam, it comes out of like a CO2 can.
Yeah, that's how you make foam.
Yeah. And yeah, just like coffee foam, you know, like that you put in coffee.
It's like a foam.
But the foam was concentrated with sea salt and lime.
Ooh.
So it's with vodka and ginger beer.
Ginger beer,
you know?
man.
So it went perfect, dude, and it got you drunk as fuck too.
Yeah, there's a reason why they call it the Moscow Mule.
Yeah.
It's supposed to kick like a mule.
It does.
And it has
This one did.
vodka. It has vodka from the motherland. Ooh, that turned Irish real quick. Whatever. Fucking Moscow Mule. Cobblestone buildings. Must be
You know
nice.
how that was invented?
What, the Moscow Mule?
Yeah.
Was it invented in like New York in the fucking 20s?
Yeah, it was invented in the same way that the greatest foods of mankind have been invented, and just as nachos have been invented in the same way that the Moscow Mule was invented, which was that famous, not a famous, but like a business owner had some guests over.
They ran out of ingredients.
Yeah, and so he just made up stuff of the stuff that
whatever he
had available. And it just
nice.
so happened that he made a Moscow Mule, and that's how it was made. Just like how nachos were made.
Yeah.
Same difference.
You know what's a great drink? But I wonder, like, who was like, these two liquids need to go together. Or 3 liquids. A fucking White Russian. Like, who thought heavy cream, some coffee liqueur, and fucking vodka was like the perfect drink? Like, who fucking thought of that?
White Russians are pretty awesome, actually. I like White Russians.
Yeah, they're fucking delicious. I remember one time you invited me to a party at Claudia's house.
Yeah.
And me and Luis, a.k.a. Malbolgia, we were fucking drinking just White Russians only that night.
Uh-huh.
I don't know why we thought it was a fucking great idea.
It probably was.
No. Think about drinking alcohol mixed with heavy cream for more than 4 hours.
Yeah, that's going to make you vomit.
As soon as I got home, I was fucking the geysers in fucking Yellowstone. I was fucking spewing everywhere as soon as I got to my house. And it was fucking curdled by that time. It was fucking cottage cheese and shit.
That's weird, dude.
Well, I mean, it's in your acid. Dude. That's how they make cheese, you dumb asshole.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Oh, yeah. You know, though, right now is like kind of the perfect time to talk about just our drug experiences, since you're the person that I've done most of my drugs with.
Yeah.
I still remember the first time that I got high from fucking ecstasy.
Yeah, you took Purple Anarchies at Haji's house.
Not one, but 2 for my first time.
You took 2, that's right, because it wasn't hitting you within a fast enough time.
Yeah, it was because everyone else was already feeling the kick of the stimulant in this pressed pill.
Yeah.
And me not experiencing it at all. I didn't know what it felt like. I had used drugs before, just not this one. I don't like taking pills. I still don't. So this was a new experience, and everyone was already feeling the energy, and me like not knowing what to look for. I was like, hey man, I don't think this is working out. Maybe I'm too big for just one pill. And he was like, well, that's why you bought 2, man. Pop the other one. So about 45 minutes after I popped the first one, I popped the second one. As soon as I popped that second one, the first one fucking kicked in. And it kicked in fucking hard.
Yeah.
As soon as like I felt the pill settle in my stomach, that first one fucking kicked me in the nuts, and it said, hold on, we're gonna trip some balls. And I started to, and when I started freaking out. Oh fuck, I took that second pill. I'm gonna fucking overdose. I've seen so many movies about this. Oh fuck no. I started freaking out, right?
Yeah.
But after a while, the drug took over, and I just fucking let my body go, and fucking... So when you take drugs, there's the initial spike, which is normally called the peak. That's usually the highest you're going to get. The rest is a crash or a come down, whatever you want to call it. So while I felt peaking on that first pill. I guess I started to plateau or get used to that intensity. And fucking the second one kicked in once I got comfortable with what I was feeling. And I went into the fucking stratosphere. I was fucking no longer on Earth. My body was in control by some fucking ancient spirit. I don't even fucking know how to describe it. I wasn't me for that fucking hour and a half, 2 hours. I was fucking gone.
That's fucking awesome, dude.
And you know, like, I'm a person that likes to maintain control. Like, I like to get on top of the shit that I take. This was probably the first time that I just said, fuck it, take me where I'm gonna go. Fucking, if I end up in fucking some asshole swimming pool that I don't know how I got there in 4 hours, fucking so be it.
Yeah.
And when you're taking fucking, I guess you could call it a psychedelic to a certain degree. When you're taking fucking heavily mind-altering drugs, the more you let go, the better your fucking trip is gonna be. Because when you try to like force down on it with like a fucking hammer or with a steel fist, you kind of feel shitty. You feel kind of gross. It's kind of hard to explain, but if you let go, you're probably gonna have a good time.
Yeah, you probably will.
And the only other time I did that was when I took acid the first time. So I've only gotten...
Did you take acid for the first time?
Yeah. The first time I took acid, I don't know if you remember, fucking... You had done it several times already. We were at your place, and I took my tab, you took your tab. I think there were the Grateful Dead walking pandas or dancing pandas or whatever.
Yeah, I think those were it.
And fucking something happened with Claudia, and you had to jet, like you had to bail.
Okay.
But for some reason, I felt like I couldn't go with you or whatever. Like, I think it was an emergency or like personal or whatever the fuck.
Okay.
So I split and I called Ruben, and Ruben was at a fucking house party nearby, actually, like within walking distance. But I drove because I was in my car. I didn't know how long you were gonna be, so I went to this fucking party without the acid kicking in yet. And you know, I mean, fucking, you go say what's up to the person that owns the house or who's throwing the party, whatever the fuck, and then you fucking meet up with your friends and shit. So we were meeting up, and I talked to the dude that owned the house, and I was chilling with Ruben, and fucking, I felt like this weird tingling up my spine, and then like it centralized itself like to where the spinal column meets the fucking skull, and it got fucking tense there. Like, it felt like something was gonna burst almost. And then like I just felt it seep into my fucking brain. And once that happened, like, I knew I was in for a ride. There was a local fucking radio DJ at this party. I'm not gonna say his name, but it's equivalent to Fatty the Building.
Yeah.
And I guess he thought he was a fucking cool guy because he's the radio host or whatever. He was like trying to throw his shit around like he was fucking Big Dick or whatever. And there was Jello shots, and they were cherry Jello shots, and he picked one up at the same time that I picked one up. This is when the acid was starting to work its magic.
Yeah.
And he looked at me, and I looked at him, and we both picked up a Jello shot. And I mean, we gave each other the salute, the cheers, fucking air motion. And like he was like, "Ooh, look, it's like period blood." And like he was swirling it with his finger. I guess he was trying to shock value me or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Look, motherfucker, you're doing this to the wrong person."
Yeah.
For a whole year, I had a fucking tampon or a Kotex on my backpack in high school. covered in fake,
yeah,
covered in fake
true.
blood with fucking tampons hanging off the sides of them.
Yeah.
And you're fucking you're in the little leagues right here, homie.
Yeah, that's your first move.
Yeah, so he did that, and like I looked at him like, oh yeah. Instead of like acting like shocked and appalled or whatever, I was like, oh yeah. And then like I started stirring it real hard with my finger, like with fucking crazy eyes kind of hunched over. And I was like, oh yeah, first you finger it, and then you put it down here, and then you fuck it. And I pretended to fuck the shit out of it.
Yeah.
At this point, I had no control of my body. Like I saw it in third person. And I was like, yeah, first you finger it. I was like, first you finger it. And I was doing it all vigorous and shit. Like, you could hear me stirring it in the cup. And then I put it in front of my dick. Yeah, I put it in front of my dick and I started air humping it. And I was like, yeah, then you fuck it. Yeah. You get the blood all over yourself. And I was like, yeah, then you get the blood all over yourself and you eat it. Yeah. And while I was doing this, he just looked at me like with a face of fucking complete shock and awe. He didn't say anything. Like fucking deer in the headlights, his eyes were opened wide and his mouth was open a little bit like and like he just backed away from me. After I said that, like I said nothing and I was just like and I was eating the Jello shot and he just like he backed out of the room and just fucking bolted. I never saw him again. I never saw him.
Hilarious, dude.
I never saw him again that night.
That's fucking funny, dude. You scared him off. You know what? You did a good civic duty.
I beat him.
That was a good public duty.
I beat him at his own game.
You rid the world of Sammy the House. I think what ended up happening...
Whoa! You just said the name. What the fuck?
I'm sorry. You rid the world of Faggy the Fowls.
Fatty the Building.
Fatty the Building. Yeah, there you go. You rid the world of that individual.
Okay, and, so I'm still here at this party with a head full of acid. After that happened, I was like, oh shit, I think I need to go outside and calm down because I saw that he looked fucking in almost in terror, right?
Yeah.
So I went outside. And I was in the front yard, and there's a cheap ass fucking shitty tree in the front of the house in the front yard. And I always carry a pocket knife with me, so I was just there, head full of acid already, full swing. I pull out my pocket knife and I just start stabbing the tree, right? And the thing about drugs is they affect your body in a different way that you're usually not used to. So I was apparently my hands were super sweaty. And in stabbing the tree, I fucking stabbed it so hard that my hand skipped over the bolster, the part that's supposed to stop your hand from fucking cutting yourself on the blade.
Yes.
Well, I jumped over that, and the bottom half of the knife was serrated. So the webbing on the thumb to the index finger fucking just through all of the serration, and I fucking split my hand open. When I felt that, I like pulled my knife away. I closed it without even looking at my hand, put it in my pocket. I looked at my hand, and it was fucking dripping blood. With a head full of acid, dripping blood. I was just fucking staring at it like a psychopath.
Nice.
In the front yard in the dark while there's a party inside.
Yeah.
So people were still walking in, and I remember these two chicks came in, and they were talking and whatever, and they're like, is this where the party is? I was like, oh yeah, it's inside. Fucking all chill and shit, fucking bleeding like a motherfucker. And like, I'm like, yeah, I'm sorry about my hand, but yeah, the party's inside. And one of the chicks is like, what do you mean you're sorry about your hand? And I fucking stick my hand out and I open the cut, and it just starts dripping blood again. And one of the chicks is like, oh, fuck. And the other chick's like, I'm training to be a nurse. Like, this is my fucking opportunity to try my fucking healing skills. Yeah. She's like, oh, well, I have a first aid kit in my car. Is there anything you need? And I was like, well, knowing that I was just stabbing this tree outdoors with a fucking dirty-ass knife, do you have any iodine? Like, instantly I knew what I needed to fucking clean the cut with, right? I wasn't going to ask for fucking peroxide or alcohol, because who the fuck carries that? I know in a first aid kit there's always iodine. Iodine's a sterilizer. So I was like, do you have any iodine in that first aid kit and a bandage, like a wrap, gauze? I asked her for those two things specific, and she goes and she looks and she comes back. No, but I could give you a Band-Aid. And I closed my fist and I was like, nah, I'm good. And all pissed off, I just walked inside. I walk inside and I'm looking for the dude that owns the house, and I find him in the kitchen. And he's in like at the sink. And I'm like, hey dude, do you have anything that I could like wrap my hand with? And he's like, what do you mean? So I put my hand in the sink and I open it and it just starts dripping blood again, right? And he's like, oh fuck, you're bleeding fucking badass. And I was like, yeah, you think? Do you have anything I can wrap my hand with? Like a bandana or an old t-shirt or something that you don't mind losing? Let me go check. I'll be right back. And he takes off and like fucking, I'm just there in the sink, rinsing the blood off my hand, keeping it in the sink not to get the house dirty, right?
Yeah.
And fucking, he comes back, like I said, like 10 minutes later with a fucking pillowcase that was like from the fucking 70s. It fucking was the oldest pillowcase he could find, I guess. And he's like, I didn't find it like an old t-shirt or a rag or anything, but I found this. And I just looked at him like, you're a fucking retard. You're the dumbest asshole I could ever ask for anything. And I snatched it from him without saying anything. I fucking wrapped my hand after cleaning it under the sink, and I just went outside to my truck. And I called you. I was like, hey man, I just cut myself on a tree outside of this party. I'm tripping my balls off. Like, are you coming back anytime soon? And you were in your car already driving back to your house. You're like, yeah, I'll be there in 10 minutes. So I was like, hey, I'm going to go wait outside your front yard. And he's like, you were like, oh yeah, I'll be there. I'll be there. Just wait for me. So I don't know how the fuck I got to your house, dude. But I fucking drove to your house with this fucking pillowcase wrapped around my hand. It looked like I had a fucking, a badass fucking nub. And that was the first encounter that I had with a local celebrity. I fucking scared the fucking wits out of this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, the night kept getting crazier from there. I mean, obviously, acid. I remember I saw a fucking glowing koi in your nasty-ass fucking swimming pool.
Dude, that swimming pool was pristine. What are you talking about?
Dude, we went swimming in that thing. That's fucking gross.
That thing was clean.
Remember when we were killing bugs with the acid for the swimming pool?
Dude, yes. You would just kill bugs on the casual like that.
All serial killer. Didn't you
Yes.
fucking dissect a live fish?
That's fucking crazy, dude.
Yeah. Well, looks like we're reaching that time. I only managed to get one call in, but hopefully the conversation was explicit enough and entertaining enough.
See. Yes.
Let's go ahead and just close it out. If you want to say anything, Carhart.
Well, I want to say to the rest of the world listening, fuck y'all. It's all good. We'll see you again sometime soon. Take care.
Thank you guys for listening. If you made it this far, remember to download the Podbean app and follow me or us or the channel, the podcast. And you can do all of that at hangingheavy.podbean.com. If you don't want to download the app, you can listen at hangingheavy.podbean.com. Or you can follow on YouTube, because this is getting posted on YouTube now. And that's youtube.com/hangingheavy. This has been Hanging Heavy. Thanks for joining us.